Hey everyone, Sean here with Badland Studio. I wanted to take a moment to go ahead and give a preview of the tutorial system that we're working on, which we're hoping to get out within this next update here. This should hopefully resolve a lot of the issues that new players are having with trying to figure out the systems. When first entering the shipyard, you'll see this window here pop up that'll give you a brief description of what's going on and prompt you to continue to the next step. You can also just close right out of it if you want, and it should come back up the next time, or you can turn off all tutorials right away by checking here. So by clicking the next step, it'll go on to a little bit of an overview of everything. It'll highlight the area that it's talking about, and it'll give you some information about that area. So as we go through, it'll explain every step in detail and what each button and window does as you go through each of them. Now this should resolve a lot of the issues with people not knowing how to get to certain bits of information or what certain buttons and things do with the construction process of the ship. At the end of this tutorial here, it then explains the basic camera controls and the buttons used to interface with the environment, not just the UI. At this point here, it'll ask you to either open up the shipyard tools if you haven't done it already, or it'll just wait. So if you finish the tutorial here, now it's really waiting for the user's input. We did it this way because the tutorials and for our shipyard here are quite long because the system is very large. So instead of just guiding you along on a half an hour to an hour tutorial process, it waits for your input and it adapts to how you want to look at things. So it suggested going to the shipyard tools down here, but if you're not interested, like let's say you wanted to look at the weapon manager instead, click on the weapon manager and it pops up and it goes into a tutorial right away on the weapon manager. It explains the layout, what each section does, what each button does, and so on. So after you're done with that, let's say now you're interested, you want to know what these information dialogues do. So you open up this, it'll give you a highlight, it'll tell you, and then you'll be done. So you can close that away. We'll go over here to our shipyard tools, and it'll go into an explanation of what each of these buttons do. This way, instead of just relying on checking documents and other videos and things like that, or just relying on the tooltips, which we've been trying to get better at adding tooltips in there for all of our things, this will be a guided experience for the player with however they want to go about it, with whatever systems they want to open and look at first. So here I'm looking at the construction tabs, and it explains how all that works, and it actually even walks you through the process. We'll have just as detailed tutorial setup for sector flight. So when you're flying around, when you first get in, it'll explain how all the systems work. It'll go into detail on how the drone systems work if your ship's equipped with them and you go to open that interface and so on. Again, we're trying to wrap this up so that we have it ready for our next version, which I'm hoping will be in another week or so. Unless something major happens, the tutorial should be in for that. If you got any questions, please feel free to post on our community hub. That's where we're the most active, and we'll see you around. Thanks for supporting us.